Yeah, I gotta thank God for the pain in the dark, cause the dark made me appreciate the light. I know it's been so many things that been tempting me, I had to get them out of sight. Been cutting some people off, I peeped they started moving out of spite. Been cutting some people off, gracias a Dios por la lucha que yo pasé. Me hizo varón, me hizo crecer. Gracias a Dios estamos bien, yeah, 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 yeah. Hoy en día estamos bien, yeah.
Hi, I'm Kara.
And I'm Danny.
And this is Art with a Lisp. I am a certified life coach and owner of Press Play Coaching.
And I have a lisp.
The purpose of this podcast is to celebrate artists, talk about their work, their struggles, and their taboo relationship with money. If you're a creative person who believes you can never make money off your craft, we hope it inspires you to hear the stories of the ones who are doing it.
Do it. Hello, and thanks for tuning in to Art with a Lisp. I am your host, Danny, along with Kara. And today's guest is L Rey.
What's going on?
Yay, we are so excited to have you. You are almost famous. You have a lot of followers. How many followers do you have?
On Instagram, 17,000.
And you just...
Yeah.
You just did 10,000 on TikTok?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm like jumping out because I just saw that today. I'm like, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, literally today.
How did that happen? Let's just get right into that because I think a lot of people would want to know, like, how did you build your following on Instagram?
Consistent posting. Even though you, like, engagement is going to be low, like, sometimes, just keep posting. Don't let that get to you and just keep going.
Nice. Okay, Let's just talk a little bit about L Rey. You're a musician. What other identities do you have?
I'll say entrepreneur as well. Because there's a lot of business that goes into, like, the music. So you have to have that hat as well, like the business and the music.
Definitely.
You have your own clothing line?
Yeah, I do. Actually wearing it.
Yeah, show that to the camera. Yeah, you got the camera here too, yeah?
Yeah, so it's called Second to None. Second to None apparel.
And what does that mean?
Second to none is just basically not comparing yourself to anybody and not envying anybody and knowing that you're not in competition with anybody else, but your past self is trying to improve. So that's when you're second to none.
See, that's interesting to me because you seem like very humble based on your content and the way you engage with your audience. The term second to none to me, like I think traditionally kind of implies like that you're the best.
Yeah.
But it's interesting your explanation for that. It's kind of like saying like not to compare to people.
Yeah, because if you're always comparing yourself to somebody, then you're going to be always feeling like you're second or like last. But if you're just comparing yourself to your past work and you're improving, then you're second to none.
Nice. So no comparison. Mm-hmm. That's a great message. And what kind of music do you do for our audience?
I do it's like a mix of Latin, R&B, reggaeton, and I'm just incorporating a lot of different sounds, but like Spanish and English, and like R&B, rap.
I think that's very unique that you do the Spanglish. Is that like a new wave thing where artists are incorporating both language?
Yeah, I see a lot of people doing it recently. But when I first started, I always thought like, all right, I gotta do English or I gotta do Spanish. But then I told myself, you know what, I like doing both, so I'm gonna mix it. What
was like the event that made you say, I'm gonna combine these? Did you see someone else doing it? Or was it a conversation you had? Like, what inspired you?
You guys know Romeo Santos?
Yeah, from Aventura.
Yeah, so he has bachata. Like years and years back, I've heard like him singing English on bachata.
Yeah.
So that kind of inspired me. And then you have other artists that they mix English with Spanish, and that inspired me as well. So I was like, you know what? They're doing it. I can do it too, even though I felt like I had to stick with one language. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I feel in my heart. So I'm gonna mix both of them.
The first artist that I think I heard doing that, and that was Main Street, was Tego Calderon.
Tego Calderon?
Yeah, where he combined both Spanish and English to a song.
When was that?
Like when he was hot, like, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The song Lean Back.
Oh, yeah, that one?
Yeah. It was an old song.
Lean Back.
Who were your early influences musically?
Early was like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, things like that. But like the big influence to make me want to start making music was Dominican rappers.
Okay.
Like from back in the day, like this guy's called Lápiz Consciente, Moza La Para, El Poeta Callejero, artists like that. They really inspired me.
What did you like about them?
It was just the fact, like, at first I was listening to rap and it was like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne. But then the first time I ever heard Spanish rap was these guys from DR, and that made me feel like, all right, they're one, like, I feel connected to them, and they're doing it, and it just inspired me to write my own, like, raps.
How old were you at this time?
I was like 7, 8 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were writing raps at 7?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
How did those raps like sound like? What would you rap about?
Do you remember any?
Just,
Your cookies, snacks?
it was just random things. Like, I would have random words that rhyme, but
That's what Danny would write about.
yeah.
Food.
But it didn't really make much sense. It was just, I would pick words that rhyme and like freestyle. But looking back, it didn't really make sense. But that's how it started. Though.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. How has your style evolved over time?
I go more with the beat now. Like back then I used to focus much on the words, but now I'm like incorporating the melody and all that, because you can't just focus on one aspect. You gotta focus on both, like the melody, so it could be catchy, and the lyrics as well.
What do you do first? Do you do the melody first or the words?
Exactly. I do
the melody first.
I do now like past years, melody first. I'll do a melody, and then I'll record myself like on my phone doing a melody, and then I'll hear that and add words to the song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. What when you were going to school, did you want to be a musician?
Yeah.
So what courses did you take to follow that dream?
So I went to Unicity High School, and they had a music production class there. So I would always be there, and after that, I went to Hudson County Community College, and I was studying business because I know that I wanted to incorporate the business aspect into my music. But yeah, that's what I was learning on their business.
Yeah.
Because I knew I would like be able to mix it with the music.
It's so interesting, especially as a young person, because I feel like a lot of artists, they really lean into the creative side. They love that. And then the business side can feel like icky or just kind of foreign, or like it's this whole different person you need to be. But you kind of dabble in both worlds. Yeah. What is that like for you? How did you, what's my question?
I don't know.
What is my question? I'm just curious. How do you balance your creativity with the business side?
I balance it by like making sure I have a set time to focus on something. Like, let's say I'm creating a song. All right, I'm gonna be on musician mode right now, or now it's time to market my music, or it's time to invest. Like now I got my business hat on, so I'll dedicate enough time and like set time for these things, so I don't feel like I'm lacking. I'm lacking on anything.
Yeah.
You're very realistic in the sense that when I was looking at your IG originally, most young artists glorify a lifestyle that they haven't achieved.
Yeah, exactly.
I know when Biggie he did Juicy, he didn't have that money. He was speaking about something that he wanted, but it wasn't what he had at that moment. When I look through your social media, you're very realistic about your life. You know, you're like, hey, I have this real job, but I do this on the side. My friends kind of help me out, and we're making something, which is not common. Do you see that working against you when other rappers come into the pictures, or do you see that working with you when other artists come into the picture?
It actually works with me, and I actually started doing that recently, like started showing like, all right, I work this job. But back then I wanted to be like, all right, I'm a full-time musician. I wanted everybody to see me as that. And I didn't want to like show my content of like me being in the store, like working. But I'm like, you know what? I'm spending all this time at work, and it's slow sometimes. So instead of me just doing content and like music when I'm at home, whenever I'm in the store, I could do some content. And like, obviously after I'm finished with my work stuff, and I can do some content there. And it could be like more of a connection to somebody that's also working and has like their passions as well. And they can feel connected to me. And once I do, because I know I'm gonna blow up. Once I do blow up, they're gonna be like, oh, I followed that guy when he was working at AT&T.
Nice.
Because they're gonna be feeling like that as well.
That's good marketing.
That's really smart. So I think part of your following is because you're so relatable. Like they're like, he's a guy. Maybe like how you connected to those other artists. Like maybe they're like they see themselves in you, and they're like, oh, okay, I could do this too. There's a theme when I look at your work of like humility. It seems that way. Do you consciously put that in there? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's just like how I am, just authentic. So
where did that come from? Because both of us were very impressed that he's like, man, he's a humble guy. One of the things that we looked at, you have 2 pictures where they're just teenagers. Like one, you were working on a music video, I think, by the waterfront.
Yeah.
And the kid, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna follow you back, and like you could tell the kid was happy.
I remember that.
And the other was a kid that was wearing your apparel. And you're like, yo, I appreciate the love that you're giving me. So that really stands out. So where do you get this humility from?
I just treat people how I would like to be treated. Like, let's say I'll put myself in the position of those kids, like the kid that was wearing my merch in the gym. If I was wearing an artist merch that I like artists that I like, and they saw me, I would want them to like post me or like show me love. Not even
to recognize. Or
not even, they don't even have to post me. They can just be like, oh, I appreciate you wearing that, or show appreciation. And also like at the waterfront, I was working on a music video, and then at the end, some kid, like he just saw me for the first time there, and he came up to me, he was like, yo, that was dope. Like the music I was working on. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I told my sister, my brother to record that to capture that moment. So, I mean,
smart.
I knew I was gonna post that. It was gonna be like a good feeling for the kid that came up to me, and just show other people like the love that's coming in.
Yeah. You said earlier that you're going to blow up, which I have no doubt about that. What does that look like for you? What do you want your career to become?
I just want to do this full time and like be able to make a positive impact on others in a positive way.
What's your message that you want people to get when they listen to your music?
I want the message to be that you can be your authentic self and still make it happen. Like, live your dreams. You don't gotta do anything that goes against your morals or feel like, all right, everybody's doing this, so let me do that because it's gonna be quicker. Now, even though it's gonna take longer for you to do it the authentic way, it's gonna be much better. You're gonna have peace of mind when it does come.
Wow,
I think
that's really that's a great message.
That's very like old school thinking. Like I remember bands back in the day, they were more true to their culture.
Yeah,
they were more like, we want to do this for us. And then I don't know where, but somewhere it became, well, we want to do this for me. I want to be famous. I want the glory. And you're like, no, I want to sing. I want to relate to people with music. So that's very, very different, right?
Yeah, but there's a big gap between like doing your music full time and like when you say blow up, do you mean
Ricky
being
Martin?
famous? Like what is the real limit of that vision? Like,
the main thing is like me doing it full time, but it's also like great for me to be at a mainstream level where I can reach way more people. Because there's people that's mainstream, but maybe they're putting out a message that's negative to the youth and like everybody else.
Yeah.
But let's say a person like me blows up, I can make a positive impact on so many people just at that level.
We were just, before you came in here, we review everyone, and we were talking about the contrast. Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
He's mainstream in like hyper violent rap. That is a completely negative image, and you're the exact contrast to that. But young people, she was saying that young people are more towards a positive image. People that listen to your music, what do you think this? I'm getting tongue tied. This generation, what do you think they're leaning more towards musically?
There's a mixture of both. Like a lot of the generation can go towards what you were saying. Like they will be more focused onto that. But then, like I said, there's another side where they will like listen to the good things and the positive things to better themselves. So it's a mixture of both.
Did you have that influence growing up?
What do you mean?
Like was there an artist that you're like, man, this guy's really positive? You said you like Lapi, and so.
In terms of like, this guy's very positive is Russ. Like I've been inspired a lot by him, and artists like Daddy Yankee. Like I've heard interviews from Daddy Yankee, and he has a great message for like artists and stuff like that. You know,
he changed, because when he used to do like playero music. I remember, you know Primer Impacto?
Yeah.
So they interviewed him before he Gasolina and all that, and they were saying how reggaeton was damaging the view of Latin women. How it was bringing them down, it was objectifying them. And they asked him what he thinks, and he's like, he doesn't let his daughter listen to that music, but he doesn't care because it's giving him a lot of money. So everybody has their parents, and you got to teach your kids one way or another. That was a huge controversy.
Yeah.
But he became famous. Later on in life, when he became famous, his whole thought and idea of fame completely changed. And like you could see the growth in him.
Yeah.
Where he now talks about like being positive, staying away from certain elements. So that's a very interesting person to like follow through.
Exactly.
His career. And his music changed too.
And you said you saw him for the first time.
Oh, with it was that video in Target.
Oh yeah.
Cardi B.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened in the video? All right, so
that was on Christmas Eve around there, like around those days.
This past one?
Nah, that was a couple years back.
Okay.
And I used to work at this Christmas tree lot in Edgewater. Shout out Kevin's Tree Lot if you're watching this, Kevin. And me and my coworkers, a friend of mine, his name is Adrian, and we went to Target to get some last minute gifts for like his sister or mom. I got something for my mom and my sister. He got something for his family. And we're there and shopping, and then Adrian, he tells me, oh, that's Cardi B. Well, like one of them told me there was like Cardi B around there, and everybody's like, oh my God. Everybody's like asking her for a picture. And then my boy Adrian just went up to her like very casually, like, hey, can I show you my boy's music? It's really fire. And then she was like, yeah. And I went on my phone, put on my song real quick, and I just showed her. And she showed love, and somebody captured that video and posted it. And then one of my boys sent me that video, and then that video, that's when I was able to share that video.
Wait, so she posted it too?
No, it was somebody that I don't know who it was.
Okay.
Made that video, and then my friend saw that video and sent it to me. That's when I started sharing that video.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah. Did you grow a lot of followers from that video?
Yeah, it was a lot of people that liked her music that went to me and started following me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me about your fans. What's your average fan like? How old are they? What are they into? Why do they like you?
I noticed my fans, like, they like both English and Spanish music. And I lean in towards like the people that know English and Spanish.
Yeah.
And yeah, like English, Spanish, like Latin, R&B.
Okay, cool. You talked about the balance between the business and the creative side. What is your schedule like for making money and for creating, and like how do you map out your days?
Like, let's say I work, there's a day that I work at the store. I'll wake up, like, this is my ideal day. Like, whenever I do, like, I'm on like, I don't slack.
What time you wake up?
I don't slack. I love that. I slack for sure.
Okay. I didn't catch that right away. Okay.
Like, if I'm really on it, 5 a.m. But if I do slack, it's probably after that.
Okay.
But let's say I wake up very early. I work at 10 a.m.
Okay.
So I make sure I create before that. So I'll create some videos and content before heading to the store, and like I'll squeeze in some gym time real quick as well. And then after that, I'll go work, and it's from 8 to 10 that I work. And whenever I have like a break, I'll eat, and then after that, I'll post and like engage with the people that's showing me love during my break time.
Wait, you start at 10 and you finish at 8 p.m.?
Yeah. So let's say I have my break at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I'll eat, and then after that, I'll post content on social media, TikTok, Instagram.
Okay.
And like engage with the people that's showing me love. Mm-hmm. Then at 8 p.m. I'll go back home and work on some more music till like 11, go to sleep.
Wow.
And then on the days that I'm off, I make sure that I dedicate way more time like than I did on the day that I worked. So in the morning, go to the gym, create some content as well, make some music, and like really engage more like with my following as well.
Wow,
like
that's a lot of work. Where did you get your work ethic from?
It's just me like wanting to make this like happen. So I know that I can't slack. Like maybe there is times when I do slack, but I tell myself, I make sure I don't beat myself up over it, and tell myself I'm gonna get it together like the next day, or like I'm gonna get it better.
And what's driving you? At 4:59, what is the thought that's like, okay,
if I didn't select,
get up?
And I woke up. It's just knowing that, all right, today might be the day I may do something that's gonna make things take off.
Wow.
So it just makes me want to get to it.
What are you working on right now that isn't music? Like, what other art forms do you engage in?
I'll say like content creation is an art form of itself. So right now even though it does have to do with music, but it's like a whole nother side of things. It's like I'm working on investing in a camera, like taking my content to the next level, and like building a production team with my sister and my brother.
What do they do technically?
Like they help me out. Like I worked on this video with them, Never Fade, the mic performance video.
We'll put a clip of that.
Quiero que sepa todo lo que te amo. Baby, no importa el pasado. Parece que solo me siento si yo no estoy a tu lado. Muchas que quieren de mí, ellos hay muchos que quieren de ti. Pero no importa, ellos nunca nos van a dividir.
Thank you. And they help me out with like setting everything up, or like recording it, and we're gonna take things to the next level once this camera comes in.
Nice.
Yeah, and like more equipment like that has to do with video.
Is there any like specific result that you're trying to get? Like, okay, I want to work towards this. Like, what are your metrics? Like, I want to get this many followers by this time, or I want to get this many likes, or I want to create this many songs. What is your goals?
So in terms of like monetizing, right? So I'll see a platform like, let's say TikTok, for example. I know that, all right, I need this, that, and the third for me to be able to be monetizing through TikTok. So I'll make that a goal. Like, you need, on TikTok, you need 10,000 followers, be over 18, and have more than 100,000 views in your videos in less than 30 days. And then you'll be able to monetize on there. So I'll know, like, those criterias, I'll make that a goal. So
didn't you just accomplish that?
Yeah, literally, I think, like, couple days back or today or something. Like
kudos.
That.
Yeah, congratulations. So you aim for those metrics so that you can monetize, because that gets you closer to being able to do it full time.
And then on YouTube is like, one of them is 1,000 subscribers, and then the other one is 4,000 watch hours, and I'm not sure how much, but I have one of those goals, which is the 1,000 subscribers, and then you have the other one, which is the 4,000 watch hours. So I'll make that one of the goals.
You're saying watch towers?
Watch hours.
Watch hours?
Yeah, watch hours.
Okay, teach me the lingo, please. You're like 20 years younger than me.
Watch towers.
Watch towers. So yeah, I'll make that one of the goals.
How many watch hours do you have?
I don't know, at like 600 something.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because how long are your videos? They're music videos, so...
Probably like 4 minutes.
Yeah, so 600 hours out of a 4-minute video, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, our podcast was like an hour and a half. We have like 3 watch hours. No, just kidding.
Well, that's because my mom watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
I watched it too.
Oh, nice. What did you think?
I really liked that. I watched the first video, and then today I was going to watch but I'm going to watch it later on. The first,
it's long. It's okay.
The first interview with someone.
Yeah.
Because I only watched the first.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for supporting.
Of course.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. So you set those metrics because that's going to help you get closer to your goal of making money. And do you ever face like disappointment? Like, man, I'm working so hard. I'm getting up early. I'm doing this. I'm not there yet. Like, how do you deal with those moments?
Like, I remember like a year back, I posted something. I worked so hard on it, and then it didn't really get much love. And I'm like, damn, it was really getting to me. And instead of posting like I was regularly posting, I started posting less and less. And then that even hurts you even more when you post less. And so it's like a never-ending loop. You work hard on something, it doesn't get love, so you stop putting in that work, and then it hurts you even more. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just work on it like really hard and keep doing it. And even though it doesn't get much love, I'm gonna keep going. And then eventually more people started showing love and things started taking off. And I'm like, all right, this is what I gotta do. Even if it doesn't get much engagement, I'm gonna just keep doing it.
In this week's episode of Hole in the Wall, we're going to Griot in 398 Central Avenue in Jersey City. Do you have homework you need to catch up on, or some work to do, or you simply want to read a book? Well, this is a spot for you. They have cozy and ample accommodations. I also like the fact that the owners are between African countries and the Caribbean. They bring these dynamic cultures to the forefront in their food. They also have very exotic coffee, like Haitian coffee. Anyway, if you want to experience something new with something classic, please visit Griot.
Do you ever get negative comments or feedback, and how do you overcome them?
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, how is that?
The crazy thing about it is that the negative comments only come when I post something that goes crazy. Like whenever I have a video that gets more views than most, that's when people start like commenting negative things. And you said how I deal with it, so I either ignore it or like, it's funny, like yesterday I commented, somebody said something very disrespectful, and I was like, thanks for commenting, it helps the video reach to more people.
We don't look for that comment. Can we put it here?
I love that we need to pop it. No, but we don't want to advertise that negativity, but you're right.
But he commented something about a spelling error that I have on my videos. You know, I have the lyrics on it.
Oh yeah.
And he said something very
so
weird.
Stupid.
And I was like, oh, thanks for commenting. It helps the people. It helps the video reach more people. I'll make sure I'll review it more carefully next time. And it's true. Like, the positive thing about that is that it made me be like, all right, I gotta review my edits more. So whenever I do edits, I'm gonna make sure like I don't have any.
Oh, that guy had Did he respond? Sometimes they can't help themselves. That was a really mature response.
That guy had enough time to look at your video and look for a flaw, but he couldn't create his own.
Yeah, you're like, thanks for the view.
Exactly.
No, but that's great. Like, because sometimes people do have valid criticisms and feedback that can help you
Yeah, and then there was other people that commented about the spelling, but they said it in a respectful way, like, oh, fix the spelling, but I love the message of the song.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, of course.
That's really interesting. I think that's one thing that like older generations will comment on younger generations just in general, where they'll be like, oh, they give up too easy. Like they want to be perfect right in the beginning, and if they don't, they just quit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem like what you're doing. It seems like you kind of are really sticking in there.
Yeah.
So that's really commendable.
Exactly.
That's not easy. That's a lot of work that you're cranking out.
What are you most afraid of going forward?
No fear.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, afraid of something. Like, in terms of, like, the music, or?
Yeah, in terms of your professional life as an artist, like, what are you afraid is going to happen, like, with your course? Are you afraid that you're going to lose your moral values? Are you afraid that you're going to forget who you are? Or are you afraid that you're not going to make the music that you think you're going to make?
Or not make money.
Or not make money, yeah.
Maybe it's a fear of, like, when it comes to, like, people's jealousy, because you see a lot of artists that we've lost, like, these couple years, and it's like, wow, people are so jealous to the point where they will hurt people because they want to be in that position. Because you see, like, PNB Rock, unfortunately, he passed away because somebody's jealousy. It happens a lot with artists, so that's something that could be...
Interesting. Very, that's, very valid.
Yeah, other people's jealousies.
So what other suggestions do you have for maybe young artists out there who are like you? They're like, I want to post on Instagram, I want to post on TikTok. Like, what other advice? You mentioned posting consistently, and you have a schedule for doing this. What other tips do you have for them for like how they can build a following, which can help them to maybe eventually support their art with monetization?
I'll say start with what you have, like exactly what you have. Like, you may feel like, all right, I need this one camera, I need this other camera, but if you have a phone, you can do a lot with a phone. Like, all my content up to this point has been my phone. And like apps, like you got apps like InShot, CapCut, things like that, where it helps me like get to where I want to get, and eventually I'll be able to get like more equipment. Whatever phone you have, just start with that and post with that.
What do you use to make your music?
My music, I use my MacBook, Logic Pro X. I got a audio interface, Focusrite, and that's pretty much it.
Getting a little bit away from the music. When I was interviewing you, we both grew up in Union City, but I grew up in a different time than you. So what was it like growing up in Union City?
We both grew up in Union City.
We all grew up in
Union City crew. Yeah.
Everyone in this table, not everyone out there.
Okay, so I really loved it. Like, it's very diverse, very
diverse.
It's just so amazing how you can know everybody in your block, and it's
that's true.
That's what I got from.
It's a very congested city, but I think there are a lot of tales to tell, and like a lot of lessons you learn just from one-on-one people. I know that growing up, I think you grew up in a completely safe environment, right?
What?
Union City is a lot safer now than it was back in the day.
But I've also lived like in other parts, like Jersey City Heights and Patterson. But those weren't like really the same.
Yeah.
So
you've been
what
around.
kept you away from those bad elements?
I knew, like, I'll see people in those elements and where they end up, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to go through that. So even though it's a lot of that around me, and like many influences that could take me down that path, I don't want to do that.
Would you be able to share like an experience where you were like, this is not for me, and then somebody else? Like, I went to school with I don't want to say their name. I went to school with a group of kids, and we all grew up in the same block, but there was just like something about them. And I remember the gang fights, how they used to strategize and used to be like, all right, we're gonna chase this person around this corner. They used to break the glasses on the curb and have like 2 or 3 people waiting. Like, they used to do this strategy, and I remember thinking, like, this is bad. And like going to jail in the 5th grade, that's crazy.
Or juvenile hall,
I stood away from that, and they're still in prison, and I'm a free man. So have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, so one of my cousins, he was very like into that, like the gang life, and then he ended up getting deported to DR, and that was like an eye-opener. I was like, wow.
How old was he?
He's probably in his late teens or early 20s when that happened. I was way younger, like probably like 10 around there. And also like my brother, he was very heavily into that as well, and then he got locked up.
Really?
And, but he would always tell me like, don't go down this path. And now, thank God, like he's not really into that, and he's like not into those
elements.
Yeah, exactly.
How has your family and friends, like you mentioned that your brother and sister, you want to get them involved in the production, but how have the rest of your family and friends reacted to your work and your coming up with your music?
Very, very supportive. Like, yeah, they're very supportive, and they're always asking me like about what I got going on with the music, and they support however they can, like sharing my work. And I also have like a song with my cousin that's coming out soon, and they're very, like, right now they're going crazy over that song.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How about your family in DR? Do you have a fan base over there too?
I'll say yeah. Like, it was actually someone that hit me up and told me that she played her song for her students because she's a teacher in DR, and I'm like, wow, that was pretty dope. So
why did she play it?
it was it had Spanglish on it, and she's like her school is like based on Spanglish, on like English and Spanish over there in DR.
Oh, okay. That's
But I don't know how
cool.
she found it. Maybe I should really ask her, like, if I found her page.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your music being used like for educational purposes? Is that something you would like more
That's
of?
beautiful. Yeah, it was very great.
That's
Would you
awesome.
ever do a concert over there? Yeah, for real. Yeah,
Yeah.
by the
Most
palm
definitely.
trees.
That would be great. You mentioned something on our quick chat. I don't know if it's okay for me to mention. We can edit it out. But when I asked you about like your values that you have and like this positive message, and I asked where it came from, do you remember what you said?
Yeah,
What?
like the spiritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, so basically, like last year, I started like getting into like the Bible, like reading it a little more, and it would talk about like certain values that I'm like, all right, this makes sense. So I would study it more and more, and now I'm like just learning it and growing with that.
How is that impacting your creativity?
I'll say it's like I'm more aware of like what I'll put in my music now, and make sure that I don't do anything that's like goes against anything I believe in.
Your music is pretty clean. When I look at it, yeah, it's pretty clean. Very what did I tell you? Like romantic music almost.
Yeah.
Like Never Fade. That's
Yeah, Never-
very.
Yeah, let's talk about that song. That's your latest release, right?
Yeah.
And you have a video for it. What inspired that song?
I'm gonna
What's
share the link for the video right here.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Let's go. So basically, it was this one day I opened up TikTok, and it was this girl producer that she had a beat. She said
From where is she from?
from Canada, I believe.
Okay.
99 Machiavelli, if you're watching this. And she just posted herself literally playing the beat and her like working on it. And as soon as I heard it, I think I came up with the melody. Remember I told you I come up with the melodies first. And I was like, and I recorded myself doing that and added the lyrics, and I posted that video, and it was getting a lot of love. So I was like, you know what? Let me contact her. And she has a very huge following. So when you do have a huge following, it's like hard to notice some messages sometimes. So
I know, like when we messaged you,
yeah,
you're
so-
like, you need to just text me because there's a lot going on in here.
Yeah, so I go to hit her up, and I'm like, hey, I would like to buy this beat, and she wasn't responding. I'm like, oh man, I want to post this song, but obviously I'm not gonna release it if she doesn't give me like the okay to work on the song. So I kept hitting her up like on their comments and like DMs, but she wasn't watching it. She didn't see it. But somebody tagged her in one of my videos, and I guess she saw that tag. She commented like the fire emoji that she liked the song that I did. And then right there on that comment, I told her, oh, I'm trying to buy this beat. Where can I get it? And then she told me the info, and then I went and got the beat right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart.
That's nice.
You have good friends looking out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so let's talk about, we talked about that you have a job, is a full-time job,
Part-time.
part-time. How many days a week do you work?
3.
And then you have your apparel.
Yeah.
And do you have any other income streams right now?
I'll say the job, the apparel, the content, like on Instagram, like Reels. I don't know if you know, but they have like this thing called bonus.
Yeah, can you
program.
talk about that? Because I think a lot of people would be interested in hearing, like, how do people actually make money on social media? What does that
Yeah.
look like? What do you need to do to get that? Like, can you tell us any
Yeah,
details?
so on Instagram, like last year, I got this random invitation. Like when I opened up Instagram, it was like a message that popped up. Would you like to apply to this Instagram bonus reel thingy? And I looked into it, and it was like, oh, you would get paid for your views on the reels. So I was like, you know what, let me do this. So I accepted it, and then I will post reels, and every month they pay you for like the views that you get on there.
For every video?
Yeah, as long as it's because some videos I noticed that it says not non-monetizable.
Okay.
But I don't really know
Because
much.
maybe the song or something you
Or something
feature.
about it.
A lot more reels from us.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna be cranking out those reels big time.
Exactly.
But you probably had, how many followers did you have at that time? Were they inviting you because of
Probably
that?
15K, but I don't think it has to do with followers. I think just if you post reels, eventually they'll give you the invitation.
So if you post consistent enough, they're going to give you an invitation.
I don't think you have to have a certain limit of followers. It's just posting, and then they'll probably be like, all right, this person is posting reels. Let's invite them to the
How long have you been creating content?
Years. But
And how old are you now? It's okay.
24. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't until last year when I started making money off content, though.
But you started when you were how old?
Probably like 17, 18, around there.
And have you been posting consistently since then, or did you kind of start
Not consistently,
slow
but like I will post a lot, but it wasn't like on a consistent basis. Now I'll have like a content calendar and like, all right, this day I'm gonna post this, that, and the third. And now
Like
I'm
a
more,
business.
Yeah, now I'm more organized with it. But back then it was just I'll post whenever.
So it took like 5 years for you to make money on social media.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what about your YouTube? Does your YouTube generate anything?
Not yet, because I need the 4,000 watch hours.
Right.
But I have 1,000 subscribers, and once that happens, then I'll make money from YouTube. But right now it's just the money is from the job, second to none apparel, my apparel, and the content and the music royalties. So like whenever people stream my music, and
you produce your own
Wait,
music.
hold on, what were you gonna say?
yeah, so
I interrupt a
basically-
lot.
Yeah, sorry. It's
You've been doing better. It's okay.
Basically that. So like the royalties, and whenever they give me like publishing off my music as well.
Do you have a music production company? I mean, not a production company, but like a record label or anything? Or how
Yeah,
are you publishing your music?
There's a company called DistroKid. If you're not signed to a label, you go to a distributor and they distribute your music as well.
That's what I was just gonna ask, like how, because back in the day you needed to get a producer and then they would kind of own your music. So you own your music, or does this distributor does?
No,
good
you would own
question.
it. They just distribute it.
Okay. But they take a cut, right?
No, they don't take a cut. You just gotta pay them like once a year to post. Like I believe I pay like $30 a year, and they post my however many songs I release.
What does that mean? They're putting it on Spotify, or they're putting another
Apple Music.
Because can't you put your own stuff on Spotify or no?
But then you would have to like do it like individually to like every single platform, I believe.
Like in every country, you mean? Or
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you can do that yourself. I think you got to do it through like a distributor or like a label.
Interesting. Because with the podcast, we can just publish it. So that's, I don't know.
No,
I
it's
like
the
these
same
little
thing.
specific questions.
We go to a website, we put the episode there, and then they distribute
Yeah, but
it.
you could do that without paying. What he's talking about is paying this distributor to put it on these platforms for you.
I guess they have like features as well, because they have
Maybe
a
it's
feature
different for music.
where people can Shazam your music and they'll be able to listen to it,
Okay.
and everything is organized.
It's like searchable.
You got everything, like every month you see what money's coming in for what platform and all that.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they promote your music to like movies and commercials?
No, not this distributor.
No. Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, I've seen distributors that do that, but then they take cut from like music.
From then on, or just for that commercial? Because this is new to
Depends.
me. Because back in the day, you would write a song and then it wouldn't be yours. It would be whatever producer you had.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like today's music world, you own your music.
Yeah, as long as like it's not signed away.
That's
Sounds like you know a lot about business and about the music industry and social media, and that you've learned a lot. What is like the most valuable piece of advice that you could give to other young artists who are trying to come up?
I'll say learn like as much as you can. Learn as much as you can, and not just learn, but like apply that knowledge. Like I've been learning how to build my own website, and it wasn't enough to just learn how to do it. I had to do it. So I went ahead and did secondtonapparel.com. I learned how to do my own music studio, and then I went ahead and did that. So just learn and apply. That's my most valuable thing right there.
That's awesome.
Is there anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
Yeah, so a lot of new content coming out soon. And
You want to talk to the camera, don't you? You're just so
Yeah,
used
go
to, or
ahead.
you got this
This is
camera
your
right here.
camera.
You just talk right here. Go ahead. Do what you do.
all right, so a lot of new content and music coming out soon. Got my social media, L Rey official, on all platforms. And if you want to support the apparel, secondtononapparel.com. And yeah.
Yeah, on social media, the letter L Rey official.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pay it forward?
Yeah. Do you have any artists that, especially local artists who make money on their art, that you think people should check out?
That you think would be a good guess on the podcast?
A great guest, my guy, Kid Core.
Kid Core.
Kid Core.
Oh, Kid
I
Core.
will send you his stuff.
What's his
Okay.
Instagram?
Kid Core, the Kid Core official or something like that. But
Okay, we'll put it on
I'll
here.
link you him.
Why do you recommend him?
I've learned a lot from him, and I went to high school with him, and we did a lot of great music, and we're still connecting. So
What kind of music does similar music to yours?
he
Spanish?
does. Yeah, he's very into like the singing. So
Oh,
he
nice.
sings great. Mhm.
Awesome.
Does guitar too.
Wonderful. Anything else that you want to share?
So
Yeah, go ahead. Go right on, please.
I just want to let you guys know to follow your dreams. It may take a long time when you're being consistent, but even though it's gonna take a long time, keep going at it, and you're gonna see the fruit of your labor come to life. And God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
for the
love
message.
that. That's a great message. I think your work ethic really stands out, especially for someone your age and having these multiple streams of income. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, thank you for having me. My
Yeah.
first artist interview.
Yes,
Amazing.
yes. Don't forget us when
Woo!
you win like a Grammy, or,
Yeah.
and all that. All right. Thanks for your time.
Bye. Hi, I'm Kara Zarowski. I'm the owner of Press Play Coaching. I've been spending over 20 years helping to empower women, inquiring of people, asking them questions, looking to understand myself and to understand them. I love hearing their stories. I love knowing what makes them them. Coaching allows me to help them to create a transformation in their lives that will open up the life of their dreams. The concept is that when you push the play button, the music begins to flow. And I want to help people get unstuck, take their life off pause, and be able to move forward confidently to the life of their dreams. All of these are things I've loved doing because I really love people and I believe in them. And I believe that a lot of people have a tremendous potential that they are not yet tapping into. As a mindset coach, what I do is help people to recognize deep-seated beliefs and patterns of thinking that may be limiting them and holding them back from living the life of their dreams. A therapist helps a person who's in crisis, who is in mental distress because of their mental health condition, and they take them from crisis to baseline. Baseline being where they are able to operate in everyday life, maybe they can keep a job, they have a family, but a coach takes them now from baseline to thriving. So we are doing more than just surviving. We are doing more than just living. We are thriving. We are living the life of our dreams. We feel great. Not that our life is perfect, because nobody's life will ever be perfect, but we are able to move confidently through our daily interactions, to really show up for ourselves, to claim space at work, to be able to advocate for ourselves, maybe asking for a raise, or maybe changing our jobs entirely to do something that we really would love to do more of, or starting a business. It could affect how we show up in our relationships, turning our insecurities and becoming vulnerable and being able to transform that into personal power. I love working specifically with artists and empaths and highly sensitive people. As a creative person and a person who is highly sensitive, I have struggled with depression and anxiety, and I've done a ton of work on myself and continue to maintain a level of happiness and joy throughout my daily life, and that's what I love to help my clients with. If you're an artist or an empath, do you find that you are overwhelmed a lot? Do you wish that you could be creative all the time? Do you wish that you could get paid for your creativity? That's the kind of stuff that we can work on. These are the challenges that we can address in a series of coaching sessions to help you to transform your life and to live the life of your dreams. I live in Jersey City, New Jersey, so I am available for sessions with locals in person in New Jersey, New York City, tri-state area. I'm also available for Zoom sessions and telephone sessions, whichever is more comfortable for you. If you'd like to work with me, if you're a person who is self-aware and ready to do the work, feel free to contact me at pressplaycoaching.net or on Instagram at Press Play Coaching. I would love to hear from you. So get ready to press play on your life.